Hi everyone. How's it going? Raise your hand if you like poetry. Now raise your hand if you have no idea what that means. Poetry is when you write poems, and poems are special writings that use words and rhythms to tell a story, share your feelings, or describe something in the world. Take this poem for example. I had a cat who was so fat he would not even sit on his mat. He had a hat that did not fit. He put it on, and then it split. Could you imagine that? Did you know that the Bible begins with a poem? It doesn't rhyme like the fat cat who split his hat, but it uses words and rhythm to tell the story of when God began creating the world. Have you heard this poem before? Do you remember some of the things that God created? Sit back, relax, and let's listen to it together.
God created the heavens and earth. All you see, all you don't see. Earth was a soup of nothingness, a bottomless emptiness, an inky blackness. God's spirit brooded like a bird above the watery abyss. God spoke, "Light," and light appeared. God saw that light was good and separated light from dark. God named the light day, and he named the dark night. It was evening, it was morning, day one. God spoke, "Sky, in the middle of the waters, separate water from water." He separated the water under the sky from the water above the sky. And there it was. He named sky the heavens. It was evening, it was morning, day two. God spoke, "Separate water beneath heaven, gather into one place, and land appear." And there it was. God named the land earth. He named the pooled water ocean. God saw that it was good. God spoke, "Earth, green up, grow all varieties of seed-bearing plants, every sort of fruit-bearing tree." And there it was. God saw that it was good. It was evening, it was morning, day three. God spoke, "Lights, come out, shine in heaven's sky, separate day from night. Mark seasons and days and years, lights in heaven's sky to give light to earth." And there it was. God made two big lights, the larger to take charge of day, the smaller to be in charge of night. And he made the stars. God placed them in the heavenly sky to light up earth and oversee day and night, to separate light and dark. God saw that it was good. It was evening and it was morning, day four. God spoke, "Swarm, ocean, with fish and all sea life. Birds fly through the sky over earth." God created the huge whales, all the swarm of life in the waters, and every kind and species of flying birds. God saw that it was good. God blessed them. "Prosper, reproduce, fill ocean, birds reproduce on earth." It was evening and it was morning, day five. God spoke, "Earth, generate life, every sort and kind, cattle and reptiles and wild animals, all kinds." And there it was. God saw that it was good. God spoke, "Let us make human beings in our image. Make them reflecting our nature so they can be responsible for the fish in the sea, the birds in the air, the cattle, and yes, earth itself, and every animal that moves on the face of earth." God created human beings. He created them godlike, reflecting God's nature. He created them male and female. God blessed them. "Prosper, reproduce, fill earth, take charge, be responsible for fish in the sea and birds in the air, for every living thing that moves on the face of the earth." And there it was. God looked over everything he had made. It was so good, so very good. It was evening, it was morning, day six. Heaven and earth were finished, down to the last detail. By the seventh day, God had finished work. On the seventh day, God rested from all the work, and God blessed the seventh day. She made it a holy day because she rested from her work. All the creating God had done. This is the story of how it all started, of heaven and earth when they were created.
Phew! That sure was a long poem, but it was so beautiful. What was your favorite part? My first favorite part was when God put the stars in the sky. Can't you imagine God just sitting there with a star paintbrush, dotting all the stars in the sky? Or he has like this big star gas gun and goes, star, star, star. That must have been so fun. My second favorite part is when God created people. This part is so special. Do you want to know why? It's because of two fancy words. Imago Dei. Can you say that with me? Imago Dei. Imago Dei is Latin for image of God. Can you say that with me? Image of God. When God created people, God made men and women, boys and girls of all skin color equally in his image. God made everyone who has ever lived in the history of the entire earth to reflect God's great big heart. That means that all people, no matter their gender or the color of their skin, no matter who they are, how they worship, or who they love, all equally and fully were made to love each other and to take care of the earth, just like God. But do we always live like this? Do we always love people? Do we always take care of the earth? Do we always see the image and likeness of God in the people around us? Not all the time. In fact, people often try to build systems or make rules that divide other people based on the color of their skin, or what language they speak, or whether they're a boy or a girl. And sometimes people don't always love their neighbor like Jesus wants us to. Sometimes they say mean things about people who look different than them because deep down they think that they're more like God than the people who look different. Do you think that makes God sad? Of course it does. This makes God sad because God made everyone to be different, and God loves how they each reflect a different part of who He is. I know there's a lot of unrest in the world right now, and a lot of big emotions surrounding the color of people's skin. But I encourage you kids with this, to keep loving everyone with the love of God. Keep loving everyone with the creative, redemptive, and understanding love of God. Because when we love people who look different than us, and when we love people who look like us, but say mean things about the people who look different than us, we can break down the barriers and the walls that divide us. And we can invite God's love to bring us all together. We grown-ups have a lot to learn from you. So thank you for teaching us how to love one another like God loves. We are so grateful for who you are and how God made you in God's image. So keep being who you are and keep loving the world. See you next week.